out in this open air. These woods, looking up as though I'm below water, as these leaves retain all that moisture carried up through the trunks, like a blind, unable to write in such a place and be in a place, because the feeling of this place denotes such as not being. Otherwise, I would be somewhere else, where these trees have eyes, and I feel as though I must sympathize by striking a chord in accordance with their ways. For why would I be fair amongst them far away, for them all to look upon? So, to gain the cover, to find enough shelter, to have my own eye, and then therefore write in such a place, picking up a blade of grass, and screeching as though I am a beast among them, and in so doing, why would the wild look upon the wild? And after having done so, then I say these things, when all the eyes of the trees look away, and I am able to then speak without the focal point and pressures, where some say you're used to looking up, where looking up is kind of like looking down, because you have no eyes in such a place. The place that is the Most High looks down and says, what shall be written? And in so doing, you're used to looking up, as things look at you and say, there's up, there is above. And in so doing, the place that is up, that is above, truly is used to moving around without seeing, because they're used to constantly looking down and asking what is, truly for what could be in such a state. And since what could be is a question of whether or not it should be, being then in such a high place, the demands you have for any existent thing isn't. And so you look upon existent things to say then therefore what is, and so in doing you're continually looking down, and the things beneath you give you eyesight by then throwing up this vision towards you as you are on the mountaintop. Now then, being far away and fair, having then no ability to write, as in you're in consummation, as in you walk through this wooded area, and you are the fire as twigs crack beneath your feet, and everything throws itself at you because you are far, and you are so far away that truly what you've done isn't fair, but everyone looks upon you as though you are the most fair, being the most different. And that's why you pick up the instrument in such a place and cast eyes away and find your shelter and find enough vision to then speak, saying, no, I am not on high, I am not far away, I am right here amongst you. And in so doing, the pressures of having to be on top are not there. And then you can then cast down another foundation for you to stand upon, maybe one which isn't so high, for then you have less constantly and continually telling you where to go, what to do. Being the furthest away, the most unfair, you are fair to others because they look upon your skin in a sense that you are not their kin. You are so far from them different that they can't help be entranced and wish to consummate such a relationship, then being in the woods yourself, you wander. And like this coral reef, where the co-realities form based upon these poles, there are these rooms that form that come about in their existent state of saying that there is nothing more. So we'll just continually go around in this circle and throw up to who we look up to. And there is many rooms. And since there is no more paper to write upon, because there is no more pay for who can receive credit in such a place, that everything is poor in this state. And so they look at you with eyes from far away behind the glass. And these poor houses full of rooms and this boundary of water which compels you to go further, but also takes more and more water away from you the further you go. For to continue on, you must be so dry. Where then, as you are this fire walking through, and people are continually feeding this fire, for the relationship is one of warmth, as they see you as far, far away from them, able to have a difference, and this vast amount of difference gives them an attraction. Where then there is this dry wood, and your footprint gives your fire its flame. Where what is a room? As that coral reef creates these co-realities, these spores and fungi continually tell you what is fun in such a place. What are the funs? What is the profit? How do you win? And when is whining not acceptable or childish in behavior? For we must have some sense of firm ground for there to be any funds to go around anyways. Like these caves that drip water and ooze different forms of crystals, then encapsulating the different forms that find themselves within those bounds. That fire giving us an escape, but ultimately causing us to try and escape its realm. As it says, we've gone too far, and that's not fair. And that's not fair. You're no longer fair. And I don't want to look upon what isn't fair. It is ugly to behold. And so these beasts come out, and they shout, and they have teeth and fangs, and all this cracked nature which gave you an escape from the pitfalls of your own sense of symbolism, that given the nature of your being has trapped you in this state of solemnity, this inescapable place of inability to escape the mirage of mirrors that continually reflect everything that you are sick and tired of. Now itself reflects these symbols of nature back at you, which they themselves then have meaning, and the longer you spend in this place, it becomes less and less fair. And as you become so far, and as you have gone so far, then there is only one way to continue on in farness, and to continue on further and further away. It is that you do it with open arms and let what come will. For you have no fear, but having no sense of fear is almost like there is no here. Because you're giving up all that you came from, and then there's no far. You've given away the far. Which means you're no longer fair, and you're a stench that no one wants to behold. Being as wild as the wilderness, the people themselves have walked through, and in their ability and in their state of trying to have such a place, but then be able to return to the place in which they have the air so that they can speak uninterrupted. They then carry that fear, but then manifest themselves in this place of everything walking through the woods, everything coming across all these other aspects, in forms of which the cracked natures of a reality, then everything being so far from where it is that they gathered from that they no longer recognize each other and attack and throw down these claws, which is their laws that have allowed them to move through this place, not knowing that this was the attraction that drove them to the place in which they gathered around the fire in the first place. This fire, this thing that is continually just spiraling, allowing all these things to then seed these things, but then have these things that they can connect with. And the hotter your fire, the less you feel it because you burn it up so quick that you just seek that fire. And then you see no fire, you feel no fire. The fire is gone, just like the fair is gone. You're no longer fair, being so far as everything is burned up. You feel no warmth. You're beyond temperature, beyond the measurement of a degree. So then, therefore, you feel no degrees. You feel no difference. You have no fear, which means that you have no love for anything that you left. For you fear not coming across them in their state of nature, and then, through open embrace, collapsing the structure of all this. For it is that fear that allows you to then go have a warm embrace. But in then not having that yourself, you have become cold. You have become very, very cold.